Okay, so we're here at Nantahala Outdoor Center, finally making my way to Fontana. I had a shuttle scheduled, but that fell through. I thought I'd sent a confirmation last night, and I guess they didn't take that as a confirmation. They booked somebody else, so. Anyway, I've got other arrangements. My sister-in-law is going to come and pick me up on Wednesday at the dam. So, see how this goes. It's been a long time coming to get this section out of the way, so I'm looking forward to it. It's been rainy. We're supposed to get a break though. My pack is huge, but it's not real heavy. It feels heavy because I'm out of shape. But before I added water and clothes, it wasn't even 25 pounds. So that tells me I should be under 30. Just that little bit right there got me winded, fat boy. Okay. 8 miles of climbing. Here we go. Well, I've already shed the shirt. Also moved some stuff around in the pack. Got my rain moisture jacket, if you will. Put it on the back of my pack, so keep stuff off the very top. We're still where we can see the river. Probably will be for a while. I think we gotta make our way up. So it would be nice to be already at the top right there. But you're not. Yeah, so we got some huge rock here. Working our way up. Bubbles. March 1st bubble should be getting here pretty soon. Today's the 11th, I think. So it may be back in the lower Nantahala, but faster guys probably getting pretty close to here. You can literally see that this is going right down to the river. Beautiful. And we gotta go up. Yeah, it's a patch of laurels here. We can still see the outdoor center down there. And we're still climbing. Got some relatively fresh blow down here. Won't be surprised if we see more. And despite the fact you're climbing, you do come up to some little outcroppings. We got a house over there. We're gonna keep moving up. Well, probably a mile and a half, maybe not even 2 miles in. And you can see side slope here. Haven't had anybody on the trail pass me, and I haven't come up on anybody. I thought I heard somebody, but it's hard to say. I left the NOC about 9:30 maybe. A little on the late side, but I would imagine some thru hikers are probably still getting breakfast and that sort of thing. I don't know. Depends on what time they want to get out. I would think the prospects of this climb might make them dawdle a little bit. Get a nice breakfast and that sort of thing. Some good eating there at the NOC. But so far nobody. That house we saw earlier over on that point, winding our way around it right now. I hear voices down there, so I don't know, maybe that's what I heard earlier, I don't know. On dirt road, I believe we come up on a dirt road here in just a little bit. Be a beautiful place to have a house, that's for sure. I'm probably filming way too much, but we got a power line here. Got another little homestead down yonder. Pretty little place. Some thickets up here. Been some blowdown, some trees snapped off. Probably been a little while on these guys, because that's probably why the thickets are here. Opens up the canopy above and they start growing. Yeah, lots of trees got snapped through here. Looks like a lot of them are probably on the dead side or dying. Appreciate that trail work, that's for sure. Yeah, that fella there not gonna last a whole lot longer. Make our way through this little tunnel across this road here. Looks like some fresh footprints too. Somebody's up ahead. Mud, mud, mud. Another little home down there. Feels a little odd. Most of the time through the AT, at least to this point, you don't see a lot of homes. You do on the Benton Mackaye. In that respect, this seems a little bit more like that. But we're close to the NOC still, so this is a tourist area. Probably going to be a lot of people who buy homes and property nearby and are set up. Bed and breakfast, things like that. We keep moving up. So we zigzagged our way up here. It's kind of like a little mini summit and drops us into this laurel tunnel here. This is about as steep as it's gotten, really. And these have only been, most of the steep parts have just been rock. Should be coming to some kind of little summit here. Whew. Well, made it up here. It's like some trekking pole holes. Somebody else is up ahead of me. Somebody's missing a glove. Could take a break. Kind of hiking a little ridge here. We still got a ton of climbing. We're about 2 miles in, and it seems like 5. We got a long way to go. Got some more blowdown. See if we can get up under here. Scraped a little bit. Rabbit's racing. And stuff's tangled up my feet. Yeah, stick tangled up in me. Anyway, we're a little over 2 miles in, maybe 2.5. You go through all that and you think, well, you're about a quarter of the way to the top of the bald, or maybe a little over a third to the shelter. It is what it is. Somebody hollering back there. We'll find out who when he catches up. There you are. Fella here got hung up on that tree back there. Pretty cool. Okay, good.
I'm at my YouTube page is Out Roaming.
Out Roaming. So this is Out Roaming. I'm Uncle Joe Hikes on YouTube.
I've seen some of your stuff.
We just got to the Wade Sutton Memorial. Yeah, so we're at Grassy Gap. Don't look like much of a trail though. So we're taking our trail. He's telling me we're between 2 groups, so we may not see too many people for a while. Always up, always, always. And he's on up the trail. He's been hiking all week, a couple of weeks, so he got some legs going. There he is, behind the trees there. That's the steepest sustained portion of the trail yet. And it really needs to have some switchbacks. Not just because it's hard, but because it's going to be a mess. I don't know if the camera will get it, but here's the highway and the river. The highway goes back into the NOC. Pretty sure that's it. Yeah. And we go up a huge rhododendron bush here. Make our way up this little saddle. Kind of weird seeing one up top like this. Not that we're at the very top, but some kind of scat. Look big enough that that's what we need to do, is scat. Alright, so here the trail's going to make a hard right. And going to swing out and then come back. Presumably somewhere up there, I guess. Got some more scat here. Looks a little fresh. I don't know what it is. Maybe coyote. I don't know. Got a nice rhododendron tunnel here. Sure, in the summer, this is welcome relief. Got some laurels too. A little bit of both. So this is our hook. We just came from here. We're gonna hook all the way out, and we're gonna double back and come up in there somewhere. So, a little zigzag. That's pretty cool looking. Like somebody put it together like a Jenga. Pretty awesome. Pretty cool. Looks like some ice or snow took down the rhododendron there. Some more of these shapes. And we hear some water. Water running in the trail here. I'm gonna stay up on a rock. Oh, beautiful. And just down from that one's another one. Reminds you a little bit of the section just before you get to Unicoi. Blue Mountain Shelter, I think it is. Yeah, all that rock before you get there. What a mess. You gotta figure that rock either spent a lot of time against a tree upright or was worn down by water. It's hard to say. This is a bit surreal. You have all this bright green moss growing in the trees and the rock. Everything else looks dead. And it looks like we finally hit that far point. The trail came in here. It's going that way. So now we're heading back to far point, and then we'll head back like we were. So this was kind of like an out and back kind of a thing, kind of a dog leg. When we get back to the other end, we kind of be in the direction where we were going earlier. Love to see the trees that make their life in these rocks like this. It's just amazing to me. Well, we had a slight chance of rain today. Later in the afternoon, it's not 1 o'clock. I'm already starting to feel it. Tiny drops. Maybe that's all it'll do. We'll see. This is called the jump off. I don't know why. Really, probably wouldn't go very far if you did. All the bushes would get you. Started sprinkling and then stopped. I think it's just going to be sprinkling, hopefully. Hopefully stuff we can stay dry as long as we're under the trees, so we'll see. Yeah, gorgeous view. So all of that mess, that soup out there, is north and northeast. Shouldn't be coming down on us. You can see out here, nice and clear looking west. West southwest. You'd think that'd be where the weather's coming from. Maybe not. Never know up here in the mountains. Might be time to break out the pack cover, if not the tog. Present situation, soaked. Should have had a pack cover on way before I did. And I don't have it on there now, just my tog. Not good. Should have put the pack cover on, then the tog. Oh well. Keep marching. It's as if the tree had flesh, like mammalian flesh. All red. Crazy. Still slogging. Not liking. Sassafras Gap Shelter. Down the hill. Well, there's a shelter. I really thought it'd be busting at the seams, but my guess is by tonight it may be. It may not be, but it's a handful of people here. Looking down at the privy, I can already see garbage down there. It's not good. I've already heard that some of these shelters along this section are starting to get pretty bad. Oh, this looks sketchy. Let me turn this off. Yeah, so much for leaving no trace, right? Alright. Like it's just us. Kind of surprised.
That joker must have kept going.
Alrighty. Take a break. Wait for the rain, maybe. Is it sledge? Sledge?
Slep rock.
Slep rock. I know it was slept something. And that's where he's gonna be slept tonight. So.
Bringing back a teenage nickname.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the little book up there only has about a page and a half in it. I didn't see Frozen in there, so I don't know if he just doesn't sign them or if he just hasn't gotten this far. All right. Fog's rolling in over the top of that gap, and then it's rolling down the hill. Excuse me, down the hill. I had to fix me something warm. It's got the shivers. Make my way down and fill up on water and then decide what I want to do. You can see me shaking a little bit. It's cold. It's not real cold. It's just that, you get chilled. Once you get chilled, you're chilled. My pants are wet. That don't help. I'm waiting on a boil. My filters are not working. My small Sawyer's working enough. If you're extremely patient, and I am not. I may have to put dirty water in these two and just use it as a straw. We'll see. My big, nice Sawyer squeezes. It's backed up like a kid eating cheese toast. It ain't pushing nothing through it. So. The truth is that spring water's probably clean enough to drink because it's coming right out of a pipe. But Giardia is a horrible, horrible thing. Well, this is everybody at the shelter. They decided to stay here. I'm going to move on.
Where are you headed to?
I don't know. I'm either going to camp up at the Bald or I'll go up to down to that campsite those other folks were talking about. So it'll be about either a mile or 3 miles.
You're
Yeah.
heading towards the NOC?
No. I'm going north. Fontana.
Oh, okay.
I just couldn't find a good place to hang my hammock down there. As much as I don't want to climb anymore. It'll put me a little further along, which I really need. So we still got fog coming in. It's drifting all over. But we got some sun peeping through too. Through the trees you can see the fog settling into the hollers and stuff. Scat. I'd be inclined to call that bear. There's lots of torn up trees up here. No doubt from ice and wind. Who knows what. Yeah, about fell. Really tired. Getting close to the top. Whew. You can see there's nothing beside us. So after all that climbing, it's been real steep for the last quarter mile. You come around that corner, see more steps. It's a punch in the gut. Stecoah bald. Supposedly one of the best views on the trail. At least this section. But we won't get to see it today. We're socked in. Yeah, I'm not crazy about not having my hat on, but it's soaking wet. About this climb. For the most part, the climb up to the shelter area is pretty easy going. There are some exceptions. There are always exceptions. There are some steep parts. There's one part that just goes straight up this hill. But all in all, till you get to the shelter, it's just long and sustained. It's not, anything to fear. It's just prepare yourself. It's long. The hike from the shelter to the bald, however, it gets really steep. And if you decide to come on to the bald after and not stay at the shelter like I did, understand you're doing this at the end of your hike or the end of the day. It's going to be very, very tough. And it pitches up really steep here at the end. You got a lot of steps to do, and it's not easy. But I'm glad I did it. Glad that I got on up here. You can just see the ghostly shadows of the mountains trying to appear. Really cool. Fog's trying to burn away. Despite how high up we are, it's a lot of mud, slick mud up here. It's covered up with debris, crushed leaves, so when you step on it, it kind of shifts around. There's a spot back there where it was open, and you would just sink down. Luckily, there were some rocks on the right-hand side. Just came across the sign here. This should be the Bartram Trail split. There's our yellow blaze. This is our Bartram. Half a mile to Chilbon, 2.5 miles to Locust Gap. Let's see if we can get there. Sun's trying to light it up for us. We gotta push if we're gonna get there before dark in time to set up camp. You can see the fog racing. We're getting some views here and there. We're also getting some deadfall and blowdown and pack hung on stuff. What are you gonna do? So, as you come off that ridge, there's a lot of weeds and stuff. They're bare, but they're encroaching on the trail a lot. I always worry about that for ticks, but hopefully the rain today put the ticks away. Right here, There's a whole bunch of blowdown. Somebody came through and did a lot of hard work to get that out of the way. Very much appreciated. The trail's very, very narrow coming down this section. This looks okay, but trust me, back there, and as you can see coming up, very narrow. Yeah, sun's burning out on us. Finally got out of all of those thickets back there. All that up there. Lots of laurels. It was just crazy. So I'm hiking along, not even aware of the light show behind me here as the sun comes over the hills in front of me. Lights up the ones behind me. Okay, had to stop and look at that. That's pretty interesting. So you can follow the zigzag behind me. This is where sometimes the GPS track can lead you into a false sense of security, or it's a false idea about the trail. Had no idea we were gonna pitch up like that. And dark in these rhododendron tunnels now. I mean, how much of this you can see. And it's getting darker on the other slope. Sun's on the other side, so kind of ahead, but to the left, so it can't see us, or we can't see it. This is where I camped last night. It's a little discombobulated because I'm breaking camp, at least breaking down. There's a couple of people here, so I didn't film last night. I got here, it was right at dark. Had to put up everything in the dark. It was not fun, but yeah, I'll try to do better this evening and get into camp a little earlier. All right, we're leaving Locust Cove Gap, and late start this morning, but kind of couldn't. It could have been helped, but the problem was I just didn't have a lot of energy. I really pushed it way too hard coming in here last night, so I made several trips down the hill down there for various and sundry reasons. That's where the water is. And that was dumb. I got 10 miles to do today, and I've already wasted a lot of energy. But I was gonna just head out and eat later. I had a bar when I got up, but decided the best way to feel human again is to eat some breakfast and coffee, which I did. All right, we're up on a ridge top here. Walking's much easier. Some thoughts on yesterday. I pushed way too hard to get to Locust Cove, and shouldn't have done that. Probably should have stayed at the shelter or stayed at the top of the bald. Not only did I get in and it was basically dark, but I didn't have time to set up my sleep system really good. As a result, I had to get up and shuffle it a little bit. I stayed pretty warm, though I was shivering when I went to bed, and a couple of times throughout the night my body felt warm, like if I touched my core. So my thinking is that I got really tired, and you know, I was colder than I probably thought I was. So if you're in really good shape, you could do that. I'm not, and did it anyway, so there you are. So it looks like this might have been a reroute, which is actually nice because this goes down. But they're too steep and my legs just start bothering me, so it's careful what you wish for. Really opens up under here, which is great. It's the kind of area you can can knock off an 1/8 of a mile real quick. And a lot of obstruction and zigzags and rocks and stuff to pick across. You can just kind of, if you don't fall, you could just kind of walk along. I always imagine I'd see a bear running down on the bottom of one of these, but I never do. I see lots of dark spots that I think are bears. See a 4-lane out through there. That may be 28 going out to Fontana Dam, I don't know. We're up Stecoah Gap. This is a narrow gap actually. Nowhere to camp on this one, and steep, particularly this side here. Just past 3 guys packed real lightly. Just a note, the climb out of Stecoah Gap is substantial. Smooth trail, but it's kind of long. And I think we're still climbing. I think we got one more rise and we start a long descent maybe. We'll see. Well, we finally topped out. I don't know what mountain this is. That's a big one. All right, that should be our last rise. We're making our descent down to Stecoah Gap. Not a moment too soon. You can see one highway going that way, another one's over here. I think that may be 28, and then Stecoah is going to come off over here. Which means we'll see and hear the road for a while before we get there. Because I know we got a couple of long switchbacks ahead of us here. That's always fun. We're here on this little outcropping here. Looking down, the gap's right down there somewhere. We gotta keep rolling. It's starting to get a little bit steep. My legs aren't liking that. And we gotta climb out of the gap, back up to the ridge, so that's gonna be fun. And this is right under that ledge I was just on. Kinda cool. Well, we're getting closer. See some people down there, maybe some trail magic. That'd be pretty cool. Looks like trail magic. Trail magic. Oh, trail magic. Maybe it's not trail magic. Maybe it's just a gear strewn about. We'll see when we get down there. Stecoah Gap. 3165. Well, I said there was no trail magic, but some showed up.
Okay.
Farm us some Roman rock.
Yeah, no, we're trying to. It's a little far. Yeah.
I'm going to try to go up to Fontana and catch some folks there too. I won't be in Fontana tonight.
Okay, it is. It's probably closer to 18.
Pretty cool. Leaving Stecoah Gap. Dawdled there way too long, but kind of needed it. Got a long climb. See how I feel at the next shelter. May push for Cody Gap. I mean a 10-mile day tomorrow, which I don't want, but excuse me. Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you can do. Next shelter is 2.4, Cody Gap 5.2. Yellow Creek 7. Yeah, 7 doesn't sound fun. My feet are sore. And I feel pretty good now that I've got some food in me. Both of my filters, I think I mentioned before, are jacked. The big one, Big Sawyer Squeeze is toast. I tossed it I also tossed a shirt that was all torn up. I didn't realize how tore up it was. It was a base layer. I just went ahead and tossed that. Getting back to the filter. Highly recommend you run water through your filters every few weeks or a month. Mine have been sitting around a while. One's completely seized up, and the other one's, which is a Sori Mini, is flowing about half the rate it normally does, which is already slow. I'm really glad this climb is gradual. So it's about to pitch up a little bit here. Man, Sleprock's been leapfrogging a little today. I finally got to him at the gap. He led all the way there. Ooh, hiking some side slope right now, which is nice. You can make a little time that way. Trail's smooth. No steep climbing. Climb out of Stecoah was smooth for a while. Then it pitched up at the end. So we're getting a little bit of a break here. Just starting to see a piece of the lake. We're making our way up this climb and it is brutal. It's nothing but short zigzags and steps. And you can see the steps going on up yonder, so you know you're not there yet. Yes, we gotta go. Had to come up that, and we gotta go all the way to the top of that if gut hooks is correct. And over it. I give $1 or $2 for some side slope. So I had to stop and get my shirt off and take a breather. This is just so steep. It's kind of silly. Why would you bring it up the fall line like this? But it's the way so many of them are on the AT. Straight up. You can see Sleprock just through the trees there. Well, part way up, almost to the top. Get that rock to sit on, even though I'm not sitting there. This is by far the most demoralizing climb I've done on this section. Coming out of the NOC, you kind of already have your head around all the climbing you're going to do. Man. Coming out of Stecoah Gap, kind of get this false sense. You're doing up and over. When you start up this one, it's just so... The switchbacks here toward the top are nice, but getting up here was incredibly steep. Started from the bottom, now we're here. They took pity and didn't take us to the summit. It sure feels like it. All right, maybe we'll get a little break here, maybe. Well, we made it to something. Brown Fort Shelter, 1/10 of a mile. Barely see it through there. Cable Gap 6 miles. Don't see myself doing that. The other Creek Road 5.2. Yeah, Brown Fort Shelter. Take a little break. Make a little love, get down tonight. No, we're not gonna make a little love. We're just gonna take a little break. Buddy left some clothes. We got some more people rolling in. I got some fella there started from. Yeah, they got 5 with them. They started at the NOC. Yeah, half our age, so they can get away with it. Steeping some kicking chicken with some potatoes. Boiling off some more water. I'm gonna eat something and try to make my way to the next campsite. So, see how that goes. Leaving Brown Fort Shelter, these young people came in. They hiked all the way from the NOC in a day. Yeah. I don't know if that makes them geniuses or idiots, but it makes them a lot faster than me. Y'all have a good night. You know, sun shimmering on the creek down there. Must be the stream that some gut hooked. Pops out of the gap there, somewhere down there. Below the gap, I should say. Yeah, it's like right there. Making our way over these rocks. Interesting rocks there. Books or sheets of tablet. Lots of water, mud, and rock in this area. You look at the elevation profile from here to Cody Gap. Doesn't look bad at all. But what it won't tell you is how much rock and mud am I going to encounter in that section. It's just not going to tell you that. Sun's in your eyes that way, but we are way up. Making our way down off this summit here. Climb wasn't too bad. We were already a good ways up, I guess. Beautiful. Well, I think that may be the very first full-on fall I've ever done hiking. It was a doozy. Get my head on the ground. Bent my trekking pole. See if I can beat that into submission. Yeah, I think I tripped up on that little lip right there on that rock, and it just took me down. Just came out of those rhododendrons. We gotta go across these rocks, and I presume all the way out to the gap, which will be out that way probably. Last mile is always the longest. You don't hear that till you're right up on it. Wait, what? Well, I got here a little earlier than I did camp last night. That'll buy a lot. Cody Gap. Good to be here. Alright, I don't know how much of this you can see. It's late getting here too. This is my setup. Got my hammock, got my underquilt. My top quilt is in there. What I'm going to do is put the rods out. They're going to spread this out. Keep it away from me. It's windy. Not much I can do about that. I'm pitched a little bit low, so hopefully that'll be enough to keep me warm. I think it's going to be cold either way. We'll see. See you in the morning. Morning. It's a little bit cold and a little bit windy. Sitting here in my hammock. Already been up once. Decided to get back in and warm up a little bit more. I don't know what the temperature is. The wind chill's definitely lower than the temperature, but it's just a slight breeze going. The sun's coming up. Though it was nice and orange, and now it's not, so that may mean some clouds are coming in. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Gotta get up and get motivated. About 2 miles from Cable Gap Shelter. And I'll get up and put on a cold pair of pants, which I really don't want to put on. See if I can't get packed up. Well, the sun's coming up. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a cloudy day. Maybe this will burn off later. Folks will be coming through there here in a little bit. We're going to be going that way. As you can see, there's a hill. So I got that to look forward to, which is nice. Even Cody Gap, wind's coming over this gap. It's chilly. So I'm looking forward to getting around this hill. Had a little bite. I'll cook me something warm maybe when I get to the shelter. Girls already gone through. These 3 girls from the shelter yesterday, young. So we're making our way to the shelter this morning, Cable Gap. And I know 4 people from the shelter headed on out. I don't know if I missed anybody. Haven't seen that young fella. Hopefully no more than another mile. I can take a break and cook some breakfast. Something's been tearing that up. I don't really see any scratch marks, but kind of pitted. Maybe a bird. We're getting close to Yellow Creek Gap Road. We can see a dirt road down there. Nice water crossing. You can hear that water too running way on down when you're up on the hill a little bit. So, marching on. Well, we're getting close. 2.4 miles from where we started this morning. Actually, it dumps you out on the gravel road, not the paved road. So that paved road's right over there. Cool. Looks like the gravel road's closed anyway. Well, that's our day. 6.4. I have a little bit beyond that. We're making our way to the shelter. I actually like this section of trail. I like these leaves on here. It's nice and dry. I'm very sore. That was a long day I had. Getting up that climb out of the shelter is going to be brutal. Take some time at the shelter and eat up, get some fuel, rest my legs. Well, I can see a shelter through the woods, which I presume is the shelter. Looks like nobody's there. Everybody's done moved on. I was, what, half an hour away from a privy. Oh well. Some people got out to hike. I thought they were going to go up the trail. I went down the hill out of their sight to find a place to, as Shug say, do my constitutional, take my constitutional. What'd they do? They came up the dirt road instead, right around where I was. That dirt road was closed. I don't know why they hiked up there, but they did. So, oh well. Made their morning a little worse. All right, leaving Cable Gap Shelter. I wasn't feeling well at all. In fact, I was feeling kind of sick. Just pushing it way too hard. I'm just not in the shape I should be when I started this. And that's just not getting out as much as, not having the opportunities and maybe not taking the opportunities. But this is just too tough a section to have taken lightly. I thought most of the big climbing would be done at the first day and the rest would be relatively easy, and it's just not. There's climb up this thing called Jacob's Ladder yesterday was just horrid. And I got 2 miles of beast climb today. Once we get up to the very top though, we got the top of this, we'll have a descent, but then we'll have another climb for a couple of 100 feet. Then it's supposedly going to be downhill all the way into the dam, so let's hope so. Some kind of scat. I look kind of big too. Hats off because it's hot, but yet the breeze is cold. We're about a little over halfway up this climb from the shelter, which is a beast. It's about 800 feet in a mile. And I'm fixing to come out to this point and hook back to my right. And it's going to start a really steep section for about 2/10 of a mile. So, not looking forward to that. Well, made it to the top of the first rise. We can see the lake nicely. Whew. My stomach's slowly feeling better, at least I hope. Really bothering me. Probably not eating enough. Certainly not drinking enough. Busted filters, making it hard. I should just drink from the stream like it is. Most of the water sources have been pipe streams. There's just not going to be any giardia in that, but I'm trying to stick it out. Probably not wise, but anyway, down we go for a little while. Nice break. That was a big old tree right there back in his day. Fixing to start our little climb here. Should be our last big one. So we make our way down to the dam. Way in the back there, looks like a patch of ground cedar back there. I felt better, I'd go look at it. Excuse me, I feel terrible. Lots of tripe on the rocks here. That lichen there almost looks man-made. All right, I thought that was our climb, but I'm pretty sure this is the last one right here before we start descending. Hope I can get signal up there. Well, in this saddle we actually get a view of the dam. So right down there to the right is where the visitor center is that I got to hike down to. Tantalizingly close. So what you're supposed to do here is go up here, not that way. I went that way. It converges with the trail up there, but let's go this way. That looks like the remnants of an old blaze there. Yeah, when you get up here to the top, it's a lot of rock. Add insult to injury. What are you gonna do? Walker Gap, 3,450 feet, which means we were substantially higher than that today. Here we go. It says there's a trail going that way. Oh, I might have a trail. Appalachian Trail number 1. Oh, we're going that way because that's where the blaze is. Gone now. Saw a squirrel there. It's first, other than birds, first wildlife I've seen on the trail. There he goes. Came down and crossed this creek. Kind of pretty. Kind of cool to see when it's somewhat level. Most of what we see is cascading down the hillside. This has got some nice level area, kind of spread out a little bit. Anyway, getting closer, getting closer. Getting a better view of the dam. I think I can see the visitor center where I'll be walking to. Oh, ready. Lots of crevices and maybe a cave in there. We're still heading down. Alright, I come to a cross here. Oh, I'm picking up the Benton Mackaye for a few minutes too. So almost to 28. We made it to 28. And the kick in the pants is that we've got 1.5 miles before we get to the visitor center, which sucks. We're making our way out to this point, and we'll hook back to the left. Be at the shelter soon, hopefully. We gotta make it over to the visitor center. Wind's blowing up here. Making our way along the lake. We'll be to the shelter here soon. I believe that's the Hilton, Fontana Hilton shelter. We got a ways to go before we get there. That would be the famous Fontana Hilton. So I thought I better do a sort of an epilogue, if you will, to that hike. I stopped filming at the Fontana Dam shelter, and the reason I did was because I really didn't even think about filming anymore after that for some reason, and I know why. Because I was just wiped. I was wiped. When I hit the 28 road there, Highway 28, what you couldn't tell really from the last few clips was that I was done. I was just absolutely not looking forward to that last 1.5 miles. And I did it. I did the last 1.5 miles, and as I left the when I got to Fontana Dam Shelter, I actually took a little break there, came up the pavement because you have to take the pavement across the dam if you're continuing on. And my friends and family who came in to pick me up and shuttle me were there pulling into that little parking area, which is between the visitor center and the turnoff to the shelter. And I asked them, how far was the visitor center? And they said, it's just right there. And I said, well, pick me up over there. I want to make sure I hiked all the way to the visitor center. But the truth is I was done. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done on this trip. I wasn't in the best physical shape that I should be in. That was a mistake. I pushed it a little too hard the first day, going over the bald and to the campsite that I did. It was late. That was a mistake. You hear me talk about in the video, I did not check both of my filters before I left home. And that was a problem because they were both seized up, one completely and one would just trickle. And I've since emailed Sawyer and they said what I should do is soak them in hot water for, I think they said 30 minutes. And so if you have filters that have been sitting around a little while and you clean them and backflush them, which is what I did, and you think, oh, they're going to be fine. I put mine in a Ziploc bag and they still seized up. So you might want to get them out, make sure they work, and if they don't, soak them in some hot water, see if you can bring them back to life. So that was a mistake. I could have drank the water from the pipes because the pipe streams were so high on the hillsides. They were so high and close to the gaps. There just wasn't going to be anything in there to really worry about. But I got stubborn, which was a mistake. I should have hydrated first and not worried. That worrying about the water was just a mistake. And I get a chime on my phone. So that was a mistake. The other mistake was underestimating the amount of climbing after the first day. There are some huge ones, Jacob's Ladder being one. And the last day, there's some big climbs there too that you have to go up. And not taking in enough calories. That last day, I just did not take in enough calories. When I did eat breakfast, I was already starting to feel sick, and my body didn't want to take in the oatmeal that I'd made. So that was really a kind of a sign that something was going wrong, and that last day was really, really hard for me. But I think it all goes back to not being in the best shape that I could have been in leading up. I just had not had enough hiking and walking and prep work done, and that was just because we just had really rainy weather for the last 3 months, and it's only just now started to let up. So anyway, that's what I wanted to explain. I don't know that it comes out as much in the videos, but trust me, I was pretty wore out to the point that I couldn't look back and still can't look back and say I enjoyed that hike. I can say I'm glad I did it. Someday I'll look back at it and say, remember that time I about died up there when I hiked from the NOC to Fontana? Man, that was so much fun. Well, I ain't at that point yet. So, but it's done. And you guys know I've been trying to get that hike in for a long time, and that probably led to some stubbornness and just saying, I'm going to go out there and beat myself up if that's what I have to do. I've done that sort of thing before, and I've come off the trail feeling pretty tired before, but I think this was probably different, definitely from the standpoint that I just did not feel well. And for several days, many days after, my stomach was not right. It took a long time for my stomach to get right after this hike. So that's a sign and a warning to myself to do better next time, which I hope to do. I didn't get a lot of passing shots either with the RX-0, and I apologize. I was just stubborn, putting my head down, didn't want to stop, which means I wasn't taking snacks in like I should, which probably led to a lot of the stomach issues too. So. But it's done, and I'm glad it's done. I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and if you did, please give it a like, and hopefully this will be a much more productive year on not only on my videos, but getting out and hiking and that sort of thing. I am going to Colorado this year, and I'm probably going to skip ahead, go past the Smokies, and do some hiking beyond Roan, and also probably Mackaye Knob. May go up and do a weekend up there as well. So look for those, and get out and hike yourself. Have a good one.